Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Anton. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a bit of time since I've said that. I'm very sorry for the inactivity. I've actually not been well for quite a while, but we're finally back. And today we're going to be doing a hardcore Nuzlocke on Pokemon Violet where we can only use base form Pokemon throughout the entire challenge. So basically what this means is that we're not allowed to catch any Pokemon that is an evolved form, and we're also not allowed to evolve any other Pokemon that we catch as well. Also guys, if you are new to the channel and find yourself enjoying the content, make sure you do smash that subscribe button. I know we've been gone for a bit of a while now, but I've also been working on a brand new shiny only hardcore Nuzlocke. They should be dropping eventually. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek to that right now. And yes, so with all that done, let's go get back into the video. And I'm going to start off by picking Fuecoco as a starter. This is going to help me quite a lot because the first two gyms are both bug and grass types. So that's my reasoning for this. And after we do get our starter, we have to go get into our first rival battle with Nemona. Now this battle's not really much, it's just 2 embers to go take this down, and that's how we finish this fight. Moving on from here, we're going to get around to Poco Path. And on Poco Path, we're going to go get our first encounter of the run. So I'm actually going to take the forced encounter Lechonk for this. And with this, we're going to move on to the bit where we get into the cave just around from here. And we're also going to go get ourselves a Diglett inside. With Fuecoco, Lechonk and Diglett, we get ourselves to the lighthouse and get into our fight with Arven. Now Arven's only got a Scorvet for this fight, and we're going to go take this down with 3 embers. With that done, that's Arven defeated. Moving us on into the next route. And in this next route, we're going to go pick ourselves up a Flamigo, a fighting flying type, which is going to help us out quite a lot in our first 2 gyms. And this was actually really hard to catch. He kept breaking out of all my Pokeballs. Put a few of my Pokemon to low life as well, but we do manage to capture this. And with this captured, we can go get into our Nemona fight. So for Coco here, again, another 2 embers will take down her Sprigatito. Then nextly, she's going to send out Pawmi. Now Pawmi here is going to terrestrialize into a Terra Electric type, and we're going to do everything we can to try and weaken it. So Fuecoco goes and puts this down into low life, and then I'm going to go make a switch over into my Diglett because any electric type moves it will use will not affect me. And then Diglett from here can go for a scratch spam and eventually take down the Pawmi after a couple turns and win us a fight. From here we head up to the school and do everything we got to do there before we can set out on the adventure. And my next encounter actually ends up accidentally being a Hoppip while I was looking around for another Pokemon. But it's the first encounter that you get on every route that you've got to get. So I go capture the Hoppip. And with all this, we're going to go ahead into the first gym fight of the run against Katie. Now she's a bug type trainer. And I'm going to start off here with my Flamigo. 1 wing attack here is going to one-shot the Nimble. And we're going to do the exact same thing after on Tarantula and take this down too. Now lastly, she's going to send out a Teddiursa, which is going to terrestrialize into a bug Terra type. And 1 wing attack here is going to put it into very low life, giving us a chance to go finish this off on the next turn with Peck and winning the fight. The next Pokemon we find then after defeating Katie is the Cypher. Now Cypher here is actually the perfect level as well, because it's level 17 and that is also our level cap for the next gym as well. But catching it's actually going to be quite a bit of a struggle. See, Fuecoco here is on quite low life, so I'm going to have to go switch this now. And I'm going to switch into my Hoppip, which takes a wing attack, and it ends up dying. So we end up losing our Hoppip already. And Cypher still won't be easily catched. So with Chonky out as well, we go for our Ultra Ball, it doesn't catch it, and we also lose Chonky as well. So I'm also thinking here that I'm going to have to risk it one more time with my Diglett. If we lose Diglett, then I'm probably going to have to run because I've lost 3 Pokemon now trying to catch this Cypher. But thankfully, our Ultra Ball does capture the Cypher and we get our new Pokemon. It just comes at the price of losing 2 other Pokemon. After this then, I'm also going to find myself a Cloth and we're going to go capture this up as well. And with our Cloth captured as well, we're going to go ahead into our second gym fight of the run against Gym Leader Brassius, the Grass type trainer. And to start things off here, I'm going to leave my Cypher and I'm going to terrestrialize this into a Terra Bug type. Starting off with a Fury Cutter, which is going to take down the Petilil. And then nextly, we're going to go for another Fury Cutter and take down the Smoliv. And now we're up against his last Pokemon, which is a Terra Grass type, Sudowoodo. And I'm going to hit this with a Fury Cutter and knock it down onto Sturdy. It's going to survive and go for a Rock Throw here, which does quite a bit of damage. But it's fine. I'm going to go for another Wing Attack after. Take down the Sudowoodo. And with this done, we win the fight. Next up after this, another accidental encounter is going to end us up with a Tootle, which we go capture then. And we're going to move on towards the third gym. Now, just outside of this city, we're going to go get ourselves an encounter with a Tauros. And I'm having a bit of difficulties trying to take this on as well and capture it. And after a while, I'll go and make a switch here from Flamigo over into Tutor. And Tutor's going to take a headbutt from the Tauros. Now this Tutor that we literally caught about 3 minutes ago has already been sacked. So sadly with this done, we've had our third death of a run. I'm then sending out Cloth, who can take quite a lot of physical damage. And my Great Ball will finally capture the Tauros as well. Before I actually go do anything with the third gym, I'm also going to go take on the Titan Claw. Leading out with my new Tauros. So I'm going to terrestrialize into a Terra Fighting type. And then I'm going to go hit the Claw with a double kick. And this will take down the Claw for the first time, leading us into the second bit of the fight. With the Claw once again at the bottom alongside Arven. Now a double kick here and a water gun from his shoulder will knock this down into very low life. Meaning that we can go finish this off with another double kick on the next turn and defeat Cloth. So I head back up to where we was before afterwards and head into the gym. And before we can go do anything, we have to go fight against Nemona. Now Nemona's not too much of a difficulty in this fight. We're going to go for one Fury Cutter and take down her Rockruff after terrestrializing. Her Palmy comes out and that's also a one shot to Fury Cutter. And then lastly she's going to send out her Florigato. And this is going to terrestrialize into a Terra Grass type. And one Fury Cutter again is enough to go take this down. So we go do this and win the fight. Now with that all done, we can go get into the fight with Iona, who's going to lead her Wattrel. So once again I'm leading Cypher. I'm going to terrestrialize into a Terra Bug type. And I'm going to go hit this with a Fury Cutter as well, which will knock it down into Half-Life. We're hit with Pluck here, which is super effective, but that's fine. And I'll go finish this off with a Fury Cutter on the next turn. So with this done, she's going to send out Belly Bolt, which is another one shot to Fury Cutter. And it's the same with Luxio as well, despite us getting an Intimidate attack drop from this. And lastly, she sends out her Miss Magius, and it's going to hit me with Confuse Ray as well. So we managed to get past the confusion, hit the Miss Magius with Fury Cutter, and this is also another one shot. And with this done, that's Iona defeated for the third gym badge of a run. Just outside of the city afterwards, we go get another accidental encounter with a Q-Funt. And this is actually doing a lot of damage to us as well with this rollout. Put my Claw onto very low life for Pokemon I definitely wanted to keep. And at +5 rollout, it's going to go take down the Diglett. And we end up losing another Pokemon in the run now, before we can finally capture this and continue on. So back around towards where the first gym was, I go capture myself a Mudbray. And then head all the way up into the Bombardier Titan. Against Bombardier, 2 Rock Tombs is enough to take this down. Then we're going to go get into the refight after alongside Arven. And again, this is another 2-turn fight. I'm going to terrestrialize once again into a Terra Rock type. Knock it down onto very low life where I can go finish this off with a Rock Smash. After this, we head into Team Star's base. We defeat the challenger and go get into our first fight against Giacomo, the Dark type trainer. So I'm going to lead Tauros for this. And they're going to send out Pawniard. And one double kick here can take this down. And then after they send out the Segin Starmobile. Now this is actually quite bulky, so we're not doing way too much damage on it with our super effective double kick. But after trading for a couple turns, we do get this down onto low life and can go finish this off to defeat Giacomo. After beating Giacomo, we head into the desert and we go find ourselves a Rufflet. And on the other side of the desert as well, we also go find ourselves a Girafarig. So we go capture this up too. Also then in the West Paldean Sea, we go get ourselves an Articuno. Before making what is probably one of the biggest mistakes of the entire run. So I end up actually accidentally going into Iron Treads. And the Iron Treads is actually really strong compared to my Pokemon right now. So Iron Treads is around about level 45 and my team are all around about level 28. So he goes for a rapid spin here and hits my Tauros. And that's actually a critical hit which triggers anger points and it puts us all the way up to +6 on our attack. So from here we can go for a double kick despite being very underleveled and get through this with quite a bit of luck. Now I've decided because I'm going to have Arven next to me in this fight, I'm also going to go take on Iron Treads once again. I'm just going to lead a couple Pokemon that I don't mind sacking, such as Fakeoko. Also in this fight, what I know is that Iron Treads is also going to go for Arven's Pokemon as well, so I will get quite a lot of free turns. But after a while, Scavillain actually goes down, so it's getting a lot harder for us. Now I decided I'm going to go keep Fakeoko alive and make the switch here over into Cloth because I thought the burn was going to kill Iron Treads. And for some reason I decided I was also going to stay in with my Cloth as well, which ended up causing us to lose that Cloth from a move that I wasn't expecting. But with burn that's on Iron Treads, it will go down to this now, which causes us to defeat the Titan. Next up now we've got Gym Leader Kofu, and he's going to start off with Veluza, while I'm going to send out my Cypher. Now Cypher here with one Fury Cutter can one-shot Veluza, and then nextly he's going to go send out a Wug Trio. Wug Trio here does beat us in speed, but we don't get flinched from Headbutt, which is nice, and we can go take this down with another Fury Cutter. And then lastly we've got Crabominal, which we hit with another Fury Cutter, and it actually survives on very low life as well. Now we actually dodged the Crab Hammer here, which was nice, which means we can go finish this off this turn. So I'm going to change up and go for a Wing Attack for the 100% accuracy, and take down the Crabominal to defeat Kofu. From here then we're going to go get up against Mela, the fire type leader of Team Star, and she's going to send out her Torkoal while I go send out my Articuno. So my idea here is that I'm going to Rain Dance to get rid of the sunlight, but Clear Smog actually does quite a lot of damage still, so it's not so great. Dive's doing quite a bit as well though with the rain power, and after using Dive and going for a Chilling Water we can take down Torkoal. I decided I'm sacking Dart afterwards though against the Shedar Starmobile, so we go down to a Swift. Now with the Shedar Starmobile out, it's going for Blazing Torque, and Blazing Torque's really annoying actually because it keeps burning all my Pokemon. And with the burn, the main issue here is that we're doing a lot less damage than we should be. So Tori goes down at a very low life, then I go make a switch here over into Fake Coco. Fake Coco doesn't take too much damage from the Blazing Torque, and we can get quite a bit of chip damage in as well with some flamethrowers before making another switch here over into our Tauros. So Tauros here is going to take an Overheat. It's also used this a few times as well, so its special attack is lowering. And after terrestrializing, it goes for another Blazing Torque which burns us. So double kick here actually doesn't finish this off, and with double kick not finishing this off, it means we're going to have to switch once again as well to keep Tauros alive. So I make a switch here from Tauros over into my Girafarig. We take a Blazing Torque once again, and then we can go finish this off with a Stomp. And with that done, that's Mela of Team Star defeated. So after defeating Mela, I go pick myself up a Dedenne. And after getting the Dedenne, we also go pick ourselves up a Tropius as well. I'm also selling quite a lot of items here as well because I need a bit of money, and when I do get myself up to 100 grand in money, I go buy myself a Choice Scarf. So I'm equipping the Choice Scarf here onto my Tauros, and we're going to go get into the fight with Larry. So we go for a Raging Ball here and take down the Kamala, and then another Raging Ball straight after on the Dunsparce, which takes this down. We hit the Staraptor with Raging Bull as well, which doesn't kill. It hits us, and then we can go finish this off with another Raging Bull on the next turn and defeat Larry for the 5th gym badge of a run. And with Larry defeated, we gotta go get into a fight with Nemona outside. And Nemona here goes for a quick attack with her Lycanroc. It critical hits us and puts us into our Anger Point, maximising our attack stat all the way up to +6. We go for a Raging Bull and take this down. Goomy comes after another Raging Bull, this will go down. We also take down the Pormo as well with another Raging Bull. So lastly we send out my Masquerada, and one more Raging Bull was enough to take down this too, and with that done we've defeated Nemona. With Nemona defeated, I'm also going to go take on Offworm now as well, and one Raging Bull is also enough to one-shot this too, so we go knock this down into the cutscene where we're going to go get into the second fight alongside Arven, and 2 more Raging Bulls here can be enough to take this down. So next up in the Tag Tree Thicket, I go find myself a Mimikyu and capture this. And I also go pick myself up the TM for Carmine before getting into an encounter with a Stantler. Also going to capture this. And go ahead into the fight with Atticus, the poison type trainer of Team Star. So to start things off here against Stun Tank, I'm going to go put myself under a substitute to dodge Toxic. And then I'm going to start bulking up with a bunch of Carmines. It's also going for a lot of Sucker Punches as well, so we're just getting 3 turns. And once getting all the way up to +6, I go hit Stun Tank with a Swift and take this down. Rev of Room comes after, and this is a one-shot to Twin Beam. I'm also going to go for a Twin Beam on the Muck as well and take this down. And then the Navi Starmobile's last, so one more Twin Beam here is going to knock this down onto very low life. It's going to go for a Noxious Torque, but that's fine. On the next turn we go for one more Twin Beam, take down the Navi Starmobile and defeat Atticus. Now with Atticus defeated, I'm actually going to go and get into the fight with Rhyme, the 6th gym leader. I'm going to lead here with my Flamigo and my Cypher, and I'm going to go Terrestrialize into a Terra Bug type as well. Now, what I do against the Mimikyu here is double up. So I'm going to hit this with a wing attack, break its disguise. I'm going to go hit this with another wing attack after, but unfortunately we don't finish this off. Bayonet as well is also going to go for an icy wind, which is super effective on Tori. So with this, I am going to go switch out. And I switch here over into my Tauros. So I'm going to go for another wing attack here on the Mimikyu and finish this off. And take another icy wind once after. Now with Cypher and Tauros, we're going to go hit the Houndstone with a Zen Headbutt, take a Play Rough, and then finish this off with a wing attack. And on the next turn then I'm going to go make another switch because Tauros is in low life now, and I'm going to switch over into my Dedenne while Toxtricity terrestrializes into a Terra Ghost type. And then I'm going to go take this down with a wing attack. So we're just now left with Rhyme's last Pokemon, which is Bayonet. It hits us with another Sucker Punch. We go for wing attack, take this down with a one shot. And that's Rhyme defeated. Now on the way up to the 7th gym, we go for the cave and capture ourselves a Sableye. I have to go get into another forced fight with Nemona. So Nemona here leads Lycanroc, I'm going to lead Tauros. And one Raging Ball here will be enough to take this down. Nextly she sends out Sliggoo and we take this down with another Raging Ball. And Pawmot here is just another 2-shot, so we take this down as well. And then up against the Meowscarada, I'm going to go make a hard switch here over into my Tropius. Take a Flower Trick, which won't do way too much. And also take a couple slashes as well before we can finally take this down with Air Slash and win the fight. So with that done now, I can go get into the fight with Tulip, the 7th gym leader of the run, who's a Psychic type trainer. I'm going to go lead Cypher. So on the very first turn here, I'm going to start off with the Swords Dance and put myself up to +2. Zen Headbutt's going to do quite a bit of damage, but that's fine. We're going to go take this down with a Fury Cutter, one shot. Next up then, Guarded Wire is another one shot to Fury Cutter. Same with Espathra. And then lastly up against Florges, another one shot from Fury Cutter. We'll do that and help us sweep the entire gym. And with the 7th gym finished, we're going to go get up against Grusha now, the 8th gym leader of the run, who's an Ice type trainer. He's going to start off with Frostmoth. I'm going to go for a Raging Ball and one shot this. And then nextly we got Beartic as well, which is another one shot to Raging Ball. A third Raging Ball in the fight was also going to take down Titan with a one shot. And then lastly they send out Altaria, which terrestrializes into a Terra Ice type. One more Raging Ball. This goes down and we win the fight. So now we're going to go get our next encounter, which is a Dondozo. We go capture this up. And with this captured, we're going to go get up against the Dondozo and Tatsugiri Titans as well. So I'm leading the Dene here for some super effective damage with Discharge. And after going for this 3 times, we can go take down the Dondozo and go get into the rematch fight with him just after as well. Now in the rematch fight, we joined up alongside Arven. And I stay in with the Dene as well for a bit and take a bit of damage before going for a Volt Switch. And going over into my Tauros as well before trading a few more turns and having this Faint Ingredients take down. So next up now we got Tatsugiri, the False Dragon Titan. And that actually takes down Credent quite early into the fight as well. So I'm going to go make a switch here from my Dedenne over into Klefki. And we're going to take quite a lot of damage from Muddy Water as well. Draining Kiss is going to keep us with some good HP at least. And because it wants to keep trying to go for Taunt and because it's paralyzed, we could keep going for Draining Kiss and healing ourselves with little to no issue actually. When it does hit us with Muddy Water, it does do quite a lot of damage, but for some reason it just was not able to get off a 2-shot at all, so my sacrifice for this fight stayed absolutely fine, and we'll be able to take down the Tatsugiri as well to defeat our final Titan. With all the Titans defeated and all of our gyms left, we've just now got our remaining Team Star fights to do. So we're going to go get up against Ortega here, a Fairy type trainer for Team Star. And he's going to lead off here with his Azumarill. And because he's leading Azumarill, I'm also going to go start off with my Dedenne. And after going for a Discharge and following up with a Parabolic Charge after, we can take down his first Pokemon. So now against the Wigglytuff, we've got our plan in mind for how we're going to win this. So we're going to keep using Charm on the Wigglytuff to make its attack very low. And when we take the Wigglytuff's attack all the way down to -6, I'm going to hit it with a Volt Switch. And we're going to go bring out our Girafarig. So Girafarig here is going to go for a Substitute. And then it's going to bulk up its special attack all the way up to +6 with 3 Nasty Plots. Before baton passing over into Klefki. And Klefki here now can just sweep the fight. So we're going to go hit the Wigglytuff here with a Flash Cannon and go take this down. Another Flash Cannon after on the Dash Bun will also take this down with a one-shot. And then we got the Rook Bar Starmobile as well, so one more flash cannon here at +6 is enough to go one-shot this as well and defeat Ortega. After defeating Ortega, we find ourselves a Hawlucha and we go capture this quickly before heading up into our last team star fight of a run against Eri. So Eri here is going to start off with a Toxicroak. I'm going to lead my Mimikyu, and our plan here is that we're going to go spam Charm and put this down to -6 attack before making a switch then over into our Klefki. Now the reason we've went into Klefki here is so when we go make our switch now once again into Cypher, it doesn't go for a poison jab and poison us. So make a switch here into Cypher. It goes for a Brick Break, which doesn't do any damage at all pretty much. We substitute. And now we're going to go bulk up as well by using Sword Dance a few times to raise our attack, and then being able to go take down the Toxicroak with a wing attack as well. Next up then Passimian comes out and we go take this down as well. Annihilate once after, another one shot. Lucario is also going to get one shot into a wing attack too. And now we're up against the Starmobile. It does fade our substitute, but also lowers its speed very harshly. And we can go for a wing attack here at +6, take down the Calf Starmobile and defeat Eri. So with everything done now, with our gyms, with the Titans, with all the Team Star, we're going to go ahead into the Elite Four. And our first battle here in the Elite Four is Rika. So we're going to go get into the fight here, and she's going to start off with Whiscash. And we're going to go start off with our Dondozo. So to start things off here, they're going to use Earth Power. And I'm going to hit this with an Aqua Tail just to see how much damage it's going to do. And then on the turns after this, I'm going to start spamming Noble Roars. After doing this for a bunch of turns, on the off chance that they might get a crit, I decide I'm going to go use Rest. And they actually do get a crit. Then after 3 turns when we wake back up, we're going to continue using some more Noble Roars to lower the attack of a Whiscash. And from here, after another Aqua Tail and a Body Slam, we can go take this down. Next up then, Rika sends out a Donphan, and I hit this with an Aqua Tail and knock it down into low life for taking Future Sight that was given to us from the Whiscash earlier. And now I'm in a position where I'm going to need to switch. So I switch here over into my Hawlucha because Donphan's using Earthquake, so we're going to dodge this move. From here then I go for one Sword Dance to put myself up to +2. And we dodge Stone Edge as well, so I'm going to go for another Sword Dance on the next turn and put myself to +4. From here then, I'm going to go heal myself back up with the use of Drain Punch and take down the Donphan. Next up, Rika sends out a Camerupt, which is another one shot to Drain Punch. So we go take this down as well. Dugtrio comes after and it's a bit faster than us, but Rock Slide doesn't do much damage to us, and we go hit this with another Drain Punch and take this down too. And now lastly, we're up against Rika's final Pokemon, which is a Terra Ground Clodsire. We use one Drain Punch and put it into very low life, hits us with Toxic, and then we go finish it off on the next turn with another Drain Punch and defeat Rika. Once Rika was defeated, we go get into the second battle of the Elite Four against Poppy. She's going to start off here with a Copperaja. I'm going to start off here with Mimikyu. I used Charm to begin with to go put this into -2 attack as I set up Stealth Rock. And I set up another Charm on the next turn as well to lower its attack even more. Once Mimikyu had its disguise broken by Heavy Slam, I make a switch here over into my Tauros. And after taking the Heavy Slam on this turn, now I'm going to start off here by going for a Workup. I take a Play Rough that doesn't do much damage. And then I go for a Raging Bull and take this down. Poppy's next Pokemon now is Corviknight, so I'm going to switch Tauros out and go straight over into my Dedenne. I take the Brave Bird. It does quite a lot of damage for not being very effective because of a crit. And I go for a Parabolic Charge after to try take down the Corviknight with a super effective attack and heal myself in the process. We actually don't manage to take this down though, take an Iron Head, and then we can finish this off with another Parabolic Charge on the next turn. After this she sends out Bronzong, so I hit it with a Volt Switch. I make a quick switch here over into my Dondozo and take an Earthquake from the Bronzong. So the plan, just like Whiscash earlier, we're going to start hitting this with some Noble Roars to lower its attack. And after doing this enough times, I'm going to make a switch here over into my Hawlucha. So the first turn I can actually move with Hawlucha, I'm going to set up a Sword Dance and put myself to +2 attack. And then I'm going to hit the Bronzong with a Drain Punch, which actually doesn't kill, it puts it onto very low life. I also set up a Roost here to try and keep myself at high life, before on the next turn taking this down with Drain Punch. So against the Magnezone here, I knew it was going to be an issue because it's sturdy, and there was not really anyone who could take this discharge either. So I tried to get my Hawlucha to as much life as possible and pray it would survive discharge even though I didn't think it would. And then I let him go down, and because of this we've had another death. After Hawlucha goes down, I go get a revenge kill with Tauros using close combat, and we're up against Poppy's final Pokemon, which is Tinkaton. So, Tinkaton comes out, it terrestrializes into a Terra Steel type. I gotta take this down with another close combat and win the fight. So after defeating Poppy now, we gotta go up against Larry now. I'm gonna start off here by using my Klefki versus Tropius. Tropius is going to set up Sunny Day, which is going to activate its ability and make it faster. And from here, it's going to start spamming Air Slash. But I'm going to keep fighting against this by using Drainage Kiss to try and keep myself high HP while also chipping Tropius down. Klefki is also holding an Assault Vest here, so we're taking a lot of reduced damage against special attacking moves. And after trading attacks for a couple turns, we go finish this off with a Drainage Kiss. Next up though comes out Altaria. And sadly we're still in sunlight because we couldn't take Tropius down in time, so its flamethrower is doing some extra damage. But Drainage Kiss is also super effective as well, so we are healing quite a bit back up too. And after trading shots for 3 turns, we can finally take this down with a Drainage Kiss and take down the Altaria. After defeating Altaria, they send out Staraptor. I make a switch here from Klefki over into Dedenne. Take a close combat, which actually does a lot of damage. This does lower Staraptor's defense and special defenses though. So from here I can go for a Parabolic Charge and actually take down a Staraptor with a one-shot. Next up now we got Oricorio, and a Parabolic Charge crit actually does very well for us here and knocks it into low life, which means I can try and stay in here as well and go for a Volt Switch, which will do enough to take down the Oricorio and will let me switch over into my Mimikyu. So on the first time with Mimikyu here, we're going to take a Brave Bird, which is going to knock us into our Disguise, and I'm going to hit this with a Charm and put it into -2 attack. Next up then I send back out Dedenne. Flamigo does hit us with Brave Bird, it's losing a bit of its HP from Recoil, and after 2 more turns of going for Parabolic Charge along with this, we can take down the Flamigo and defeat Larry. And now with Larry defeated, we can go get up against Hassel, the 4th member of the Elite Four. So I'm going to start off here with my Klefki up against the Noivern. And just like the Altaria earlier, we're going to be spamming some Drainage Kisses every turn to try and keep ourselves healthy while we stall out the Noivern. After doing this for a couple of turns, we take down the Noivern. Next up then against the Dragalge, I'm going to be staying in with Klefki because of our Assault Vest, which is stopping the Pokemon from doing a lot of damage to us. So from here, I'm starting to spam a couple Sidekicks, and I put it down into low life, and I can go finish this off with a Drainage Kiss after, and take this down also. The next Pokemon being sent out then is Haxorus, so I'm going to go over into my Dondozo. Now Dondozo, just like before, we're going to be spamming some Noble Roars to drop the Haxorus's attack, before then going with a rest as well and resuming once again once we wake up 3 turns later. So after dropping the Haxorus's attack all the way down into -6, I'm actually going to go back into Klefki now because it's going for Dragon Claw, which means it's going to miss. I'm going to run the risk of being crit or flinched by Iron Head after, but because we get through this, we can hit this with a Drainage Kiss and get some much needed life back onto Klefki. Once getting some much more needed life back onto Klefki, I'm going to switch over into Dondozo, take another Iron Head. But basically the reason we went into Dondozo is because we're trying to bait Dragon Claw for a free switch over into our Mimikyu. And because it goes for Dragon Claw there, we do get that free switch. We can go for a Shadow Sneak here and take down the Haxorus. Next turn after this, Hassel sends out Flapple, and we go and also take this down with a Play Rough. And the intention here with Mimikyu is for a safe way to get past Baxcalibur. Because of our Disguise, we're not going to have no issues with this Pokemon. We hit this with a Play Rough and knock it down into one shot, as it goes and hits us with an Icicle Crash after. And with this, it just gives us another 3 turn to go hit this with another Play Rough and take down the Baxcalibur to defeat Hassel. And with that done, we're now up against top champion Geeta. So I'm starting off with my Klefki again with its Assault Vest. I'm just doing everything I can to the Espathra, taking it down with 2 or 3 shots of Flash Cannon. After this then they send out Avalugg, so I'm going to make a switch here over into my Cypher to begin with, which will help us dodge the Earthquake that was incoming. And now I'm going to make another switch once again over into Dondozo, because this time it's going to start going for an Ice attack. And with Dondozo, just like before, we're going to be going for some Noble Roars here to lower the Avalugg's attack. And then after this, because we're getting into low life, I'm going to be resting to put my HP back up to full. Unfortunately, even though I'm going for Noble Roars here to lower its attack, every time it's using Body Press, it's actually going off its defense stats instead, so it's still going to be doing the same damage. But I'm going to make a switch here over into my Mimikyu, who doesn't get affected by fighting type attacks, and it's going to change which move it wants to hit us with. So from there, I'm going to switch from Mimikyu over into Tauros, and Tauros is actually hit by a critical hit as well with the Crunch. And what this is going to do is it's going to trigger Anger Point, our ability, and maximize our attack. And from here then we're going to go for a Raging Bull and take down the Avalugg. Another Raging Bull on the next turn will also take down the Go-Goats. Raging Bull once again after will take down the King Gambit. Veluza is going to get hit by a close combat, and this is also going to go down to a one-shot. And then lastly we're up against her Glamora, which is going to terrestrialize into a Terra Rock type. We hit this with another close combat and we win the fight. So with everything here done now, I've got a few more fights left to do before going down to Area 0. And the first one here is against Director Clavel. And Director Clavel is going to start off with his Oranguru. I start off with Cypher and a Sword Dance on the first turn. Now this actually almost turned out really bad for us because we was hit by a Foul Play, which does more damage depending on our attack stat. But because we survive, we can go hit this with a Fury Cutter and take it down. And Fury Cutter is one of those moves that just gets stronger every time we use it. A Bomber Snow comes out next, and this also goes down to another Fury Cutter. Then Houndoom comes, another Fury Cutter, take it down with a one shot. Same Poltergeist as well. And then we've got Amoonguss will also go down, and Quack Corval after, who also goes down to a Fury Cutter, so we sweep his entire team in 7 moves. And with Clavel down, we can now get into the fight with Penny or Team Star to finish Team Star for good. So to begin things off here, Penny's going to lead her Umbreon and I'm going to lead Cypher. And it's going to start using some moves like Baby Doll Eyes to try and lower our attack. But because I'm using Sword Dance anyway, we're going to just be raising its Rep +3 right now. I'm going to set up a substitute. And with my substitute set up, I then go for a Fury Cutter and take this down. A Wing Attack on the next turn, then we'll also take down the Flareon. And then we're hit by a Thunder by the Jolteon. But this is all fine really. It's going to fade our substitute. And then we're going to go take this down with a Fury Cutter as well. Next up then we've got Vaporeon, so another Fury Cutter here will be enough to one-shot this. And then we've also got Leafeon who goes down to another one-shot from Fury Cutter. And after taking down the Leafeon, we've now got Penny's last Pokemon, Sylveon. It terrestrializes into a Terra Fairy type, and we go take this down with a one-shot from Wing Attack and defeat Penny. So now there's only 2 more fights before we can head to Area 0. Firstly, we gotta go defeat Nemona in Mesagoza. She's gonna start off with her Lycanroc and I send out Tauros, and I go for a workup on the first turn and put myself to +1 on my attack. It goes for Stealth Rock. And because I haven't took any damage here, I'm going to go for another workup. And Lycanroc here goes for a Drill Run, which misses. So because of this, I'm actually going to go for a third workup and just bulk myself up that tiniest bit more. And with that done now, I'm going to go for a Raging Bull on the next turn and take down the Lycanroc. His Zen Headbutt after will also one-shot the Format. And then another Raging Bull afterwards will take down the Dunsparce. Next Raging Bull here one-shots her Offworm. And then another Raging Bull after will also one-shot a Goodra. Eventually sends out Meowscarada, who's going to terrestrialize into a Terra Grass type. It's going to hit us with a Play Rough. And then we're going to go finish this off with another Raging Bull and win the fight. And with Nemona defeated now, one last battle is all we need to do to go get ourselves down into Area 0. And that's against Arven. So Arven here starts off with Greedent. And I'm going to send out Tauros. And once again, just like before, I'm going to go for a workup and put myself to +1 attack. Greedent goes for Psychic Fangs as well. And then I go for another workup and put myself to +2. The next Psychic Fangs puts my HP in a position where I'm going to need to go take this down. So on the next turn, I go for a Raging Bull and Greedent goes down. And it's going to be the same for all of his Pokemon as well. So another Raging Bull here at +2 will take down a Squivillum. And then we're also going to go take down his Toadscrawl. Next up then he sends out Garganacl, and I'm actually going to go hit this with a close combat instead for some extra power. Take this down. Same with Cloyster as well. So we go finish this off as well with another one-shot. And then Mabosstiff after, which I'm also going to take down with another close combat and win the fight. And with this fight defeated, we can now finally head down into Area 0. And while down here, I go get my encounter. And this encounter is an Iron Bundle, so I go capture this up. And with this caught now, I'm going to go get into the fight with Toro. So my idea for this fight when he starts off with Iron Moth is that I'm going to send out Dondozo. And Dondozo here is going to go for a Noble Roar to lower its special attack. We are slower, so we take a lot of damage from the discharge. But because of our leftovers as well, we are going to get quite a good amount of recovery. And we should be able to survive the second discharge. Because it's the last fight of the entire run as well, I'm able to play a bit more riskily with some of my Pokemon because I'm not going to need them after. So we are able to make a couple sacrifices. So after getting the Iron Moth with his second Noble Roar and lowering its special attack down to -2, I'm now going to attempt to try and go for a rest, but it's not going to work. We are going to get hit by another discharge, and we sack Dondozo. Sacking Dondozo means that we can actually get a safe switch over into our Cypher. And with Cypher out now, I hit Iron Moth with a wing attack, put it into low life. We take a fiery dance, and this actually puts us down into half-life. But thankfully, because of the stats that we lowered on Iron Moth earlier, we don't die to that. And then I can take it down with a second wing attack on the next turn. Next up then, he's going to send out Iron Thorns. And I'm going to make a switch here over into my Tauros. We do take a Stone Edge here, which isn't very effective. And I'm going to go and hit this back with a Raging Bull after. And Raging Bull is going to knock this into very low life. From here then, Iron Thorns hits us with a Thunder Punch. And we're going to go hit this with another Raging Bull after and take this down. So the next Pokemon after this is Iron Bundle. It's going to hit us with a Freeze Dry, and this is also going to take down our Tauros as well, meaning that we've had our second death of this fight. From here, though, I can make a safe switch over into my Dedenne, and I'm going to go for a Parabolic Charge here because Iron Bundle is faster, so if it does any damage to me, then I am going to recover quite a lot of that damage, hopefully all of it, and it actually goes for Snowscape here. So we can just hit this with a Parabolic Charge and take this down with a one-shot. The next up, Iron Jugulus comes out against Dedenne. I hit this with another Parabolic Charge before taking a Flamethrower. And because Iron Jugulus is on very low life from the first Parabolic Charge, I'm going to go for a second one after on the next turn and finish this off. And then after, Iron Hands comes out. Now what I'm going to do here to try and take this down is I'm going to keep hitting this with Parabolic Charges just to chip its life down and also try and keep myself with a bit of HP. But eventually Dedenne does faint to an Iron Head. From here then, I made a safe switch over into Klefki and hit this with a Psychic, knocking it down into half-life. I also lower its special defense as well, which means another Psychic on the next turn will finish this off. But because of this, I'm actually going to go for a Draining Kiss so I can try and keep myself with some high HP as well. And unfortunately, we just missed taking this down by 1 HP. It hits me with a Drain Punch and recovers a bit of its life. But then on the next turn, another Drain Kiss will be enough to take this down. And now we're up against Toro's last Pokemon. So Toro now sends out Iron Valiant. And its attack gets heightened from the item. It hits me with a Brick Break and puts me down into low life. But I hit this back with a Draining Kiss after and recover myself up to enough HP where if it hits me again, I will have a good chance to take this down. So it hits me with another Brick Break, puts me down into 18 HP. I hit this with another Draining Kiss and it also survives on 1 HP like earlier. And from here now I know I'm going to win. So I'll go and make a switch here over into my Mimikyu. Iron Valiant tries to hit me with a Brick Break that doesn't affect because I'm a Ghost type. And then I'm going to go finish this off with a Shadow Sneak and win the fight. So I'll go for the Shadow Sneak, take down Iron Valiant, and that's Toro defeated, which means that we've completed the challenge and we've completed the run. Guys, I really hope you've all enjoyed this video. I'm very, very sorry about the delay. I've been very ill as mentioned earlier. And honestly, I think I've actually done some permanent damage to my hand as well. So I'm going to go and invest in a mouse soon. So I don't have to keep using the laptop mouse buttons to edit videos because this has been a real big struggle to get through this, honestly. I sometimes edit for a couple of minutes and my hand hurts so much that I cannot resume until the next day. I think that's what happens after you've been editing videos on the same laptop for 3 years though. Honestly, we've been doing this for a really long time. But either way, man, I'm still so happy and thankful for all the support on the channel, guys. I'm sorry I left you for so long, and I'm going to try to be more active. I'm also planning on doing more shorts and stuff like that, so there should be a lot more content coming soon. I've got a lot in the plans. Also, guys, if you are new here and you enjoyed the content, make sure you do smash that subscribe button to support. I really appreciate it. And with all that said, it's been Ant, and I'll see you all in another video very soon. Peace out, guys.